Halloween, and welcome to week 9 in the NFL as we move forward. Looking forward to a great week of football, followed by a week last week that was amazing. On Thursday Night Football, you had the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Los Angeles Rams and getting thwarted 30-20. Kupp and Nacua back from injury just take care of business as Stafford throws for 4 touchdowns. What a game. Minnesota, wow. Did they get shown what they are, or is the Los Angeles Rams, are they legit? We're going to find out in the coming weeks how this rolls. But we start Thursday Night Football. Great game. Kind of a terrible finish. An awful non-call on the face mask in the end zone. That's got to be fixed. That can't happen. We have to have some type of review to get those calls fixed. Some things are ticky-tack. Some things are, decision made. But that was a face mask. Everybody saw it. Everybody knows what went on. Should have been called. Could have had a change of game there. Could have had a little overtime action, a little more football. Everybody would have loved that. But so be it. The Rams win 30-20 over the Vikings. Then we move to Sunday afternoon games at 1 o'clock. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley show why that was the greatest trade ever. Interdivision from the Giants. They get Barkley. Jalen Hurts leads the team 37-17 over the Bengals. An away game for the Eagles. What a way to show out. Are they making the turn as they get healthy? A lot of great teams have been playing a lot of bad football. Are they all making the turn starting last week? Another surprising game, 29-24. The Cleveland Browns beat the once unstoppable Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. They were unstoppable, unbeatable, scared to death. Their defense had holes, but offensively couldn't be stopped. What does Jameis Winston do with his chance? 3 touchdowns passes as they beat the Ravens in Cleveland 29-24. What an amazing story. Listen, I'm a Jameis Winston fan. I think he has gotten some raw deals. He can be a good quarterback. Looks like he's a great teammate and a good person to boot. He had some issues in college. We leave those alone and move forward. Everybody made mistakes in their teens, in their early 20s. Jameis Winston seems to be like on the right path with Cleveland, and they've gotten rid of Deshaun. I'm a bad person, and he's gone. Watson is out. Jameis Winston should be back in, should be leading Cleveland to a few more victories. With that, we move on. The Tennessee Titans facing the newly crowned unstoppable team of the Detroit Lions. It's 52-14. Need I say more? Jared Goff had 3 touchdowns, and I believe he threw for under 150 yards. Absolutely insane. Dominating performance by the Detroit Lions. Dominating the performance by former Roll Tide running back Jahmyr Gibbs. Calvin Ridley, another former Roll Tide wide receiver, was the shining light for the Tennessee Titans. 143 yards on 10 receptions. Easy math, 14.3 yards a touch. And then we move on to the abysmal game, the abysmal franchise, the abysmal team that is the Miami Dolphins, as I wear them proudly on the top of my cap. The Dolphins are winning 27-25 and lose on a last-second field goal by the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray rallies the Cardinals. Boo-hoo. No, he doesn't. The Dolphins give it away on Tua's return from the concussion. Everybody was excited. Scored 27 points. Not good enough. Not good enough defensively for the Dolphins, but that's okay. They're going to come back, and this week, hopefully, grab a win. We move on to the upset of the week. In my opinion, if you look at Aaron, the old man with the cane, if you look at bringing in your best friend, the LeBron James of the NFL, if he doesn't like you, you're out. We're not going to fix ourselves. We're going to deflect to the rest of the coaching staff, the rest of the team. And let me tell you something. The New England Patriots, with May going out, you bring in a backup quarterback and beat the Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets suck Jets to lose to the 2-6 Patriots? Oh, that is horrible. Who do you have to blame now? You have nobody to blame, Rodgers. You are horrible. You got beat by backup Jacoby Brissett. You are ridiculous. You have no movement. You can't do the things you used to do. And so basically, you're a sitting duck back there, and you are completely to blame. You brought in your receiver. You got your head coach fired, regardless of what you want to say. That's what we all know and believe happened. You made this happen, and now you're 2-6, and you are not going to make the playoffs, and you are not going to have a career that ends well. Retire and go be happy with your millions of dollars in a cave. Light $100 bills on fire. Do whatever weird crap you want to do this week, okay? But please stop wasting the Jets' time. As much as I love it, you're just becoming a headache. You're giving people hope that don't need hope. Because the hope you bring is loser status. And the Jets, again, have fallen to the bottom of the AFC East. Mind you, behind a Dolphins team that didn't even have a quarterback for 3 weeks. Please, let's get over ourselves and finish your career and just be done. Okay? That's what you need to do. All right? Stop playing football. That's the best you can do. Stop playing football. Okay? And I know I've ranted on him, but he is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Rant over. Now we move on to a Tampa Bay team without its 2 best receivers. Lost to the Falcons 31-26. Valiant effort trying to make a comeback. 4-4, still have a chance to make the playoffs, but Atlanta comes to town in Tampa and beats the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield has had a resurgence, but his receivers aren't getting it done because they're out. One's gone for the year. One should be back this week, or maybe next at the latest, but hopefully Tampa Bay gets healthy. Kirk Cousins again tearing it up. 4 touchdowns, just absolutely annihilating the competition right now on a game-to-game basis. When he shows up, he plays great. When he doesn't, well, it's just horrid. The next game shouldn't have been as close. We go to Green Bay and Jacksonville. Green Bay goes to Jacksonville and wins 30-27. Another last-second winner there, or last few minutes winner. But let me tell you something. Jordan Love is out. Green Bay is teetering right now. Okay? They got to get it done without Jordan Love, and apparently they'll have to figure out how to do that for multiple games every season. It is very tough. But when you beat a Trevor Lawrence-led team with Malik Willis, that's great. But now we got to figure out how to beat him by more than 3 points. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a bad game, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, but absolutely horrendous that the Packers only won by 3. Then we go to another close game. The Houston Texans welcome in the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson is the horriblest, most horrible quarterback in the entire freaking league. Not a teammate, not someone I want on my team. If I'm a GM, we've titled that show for almost a year now. It's coming. But there's no way on this earth that Anthony Richardson would ever play for me. How do you tap yourself out on 3rd and goal? 3rd and goal, bruh. Tapped himself out. Texans get the win 23-20. C.J. Stroud, 285, a touchdown. Not terrible. But C.J. Stroud's got to learn to put touchdowns on the board. 3 field goals and 2 touchdowns. He's got to do some more. Got to see some more production into him. Get it up to 30, 35 points there. We move on to a horrible game. At one point, it was 2-0. The New Orleans Saints, got a safety. They score 8 points in the game, followed with 2 field goals after the safety. 2-0 in the first quarter. The Chargers win 26-8. They should have beaten them 56-8. It's the Saints without Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara only had 67 yards. What are you doing? Let's go. The Chargers aren't it. The Chargers ain't the ones. They're not going to get it done. And Harbaugh probably should have stayed in college, served his time, and moved on. A big game out in Seattle this week. Last week, Buffalo went to Seattle, and guess what? Buffalo showed them what's up. Josh Allen got the business done, 31-10 over a good Seahawks team that is now 4-4. The Bills are 6-2. Oh, this is a trouncing that should have happened. Bo Nix needed to do more here. 28-14 over the poor Carolina 1-7 Panthers. Gosh, you really got to do more. Scored 21 points in the second quarter. Need to score 21 in all 4 quarters. The Panthers are horrendous. No matter who's at quarterback, they are terrible. The running backs for both teams were awful as the lead rusher had 56 yards. Absolutely terrible. Kansas City wins again, 27-20 over the Raiders. That's no surprise. The surprise is that, you can win 27-20, but why are you only beating the Raiders 27-20? They're horrendous. They're horrible. We're going to skip to Sunday Night Football and save the other Sunday game for last. That's an exciting game. Listen, the Cowboys came back in the fourth quarter, outscored them 14-3, but 30-24, the 49ers, the historic franchises that competed for a lot of NFC championships, San Francisco gets this win. Dak Prescott better be looking for a job. Mike McCarthy better be looking for a job. CeeDee Lamb's looking for a new team. The Cowboys are horrible. They are done. They are out. But the other game on Sunday night that ended when it got dark, the Chicago Bears came to Washington to play the Washington Commanders. And if you left, if you didn't watch the last 2 seconds of the game, if you missed out on the Hail to the Redskins, Hail Mary, you missed out. Jaden Daniels gets back. He's dancing around. 12 seconds go by. He takes 2 steps. He throws a bomb all the way down to the end zone. Bouncy. Right into Noah Brown's hands. Touchdown. Commanders win. Listen, they're local. Miami sucks. So right now we're going to root for the Commanders during the rest of this podcast and see how they do. The local team is taking care of business. 6-2, 4-0 at home, 18-15 win over the number 1 draft pick. The Bears missed out on Jaden Daniels for Caleb Williams. Monday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers once again get it done with Russell Wilson. 26-18 over the Giants on Monday Night Football. Coach Tomlin knows what he's doing. I would not question that man for anything ever. He knows how to coach a football team. They are 6-2, 3-1 at home, 2 quarterbacks. They always said if you got 2, you don't have 1. Well, guess what? He got it done. He made the decision. Russell Wilson is now 2-0, looking like he is handling his business. Good percentage this week, good yardage, and had a touchdown. So we're going to close the door on week 8. We're going to move on to week 9. It's time to get excited. There are some good games starting tonight. You've got Houston and the Jets, okay? The Jets team that is struggling, but is favored. A Houston team that just lost one of their best receivers out for the season. It looks like it's going to be okay. It looks like the Texans should come away with a win. But listen, as much as crap as I give Aaron, he still has a chance to pull it off. He still has prime-time players in New York. So, a home game for the Jets. A possible loss for the Texans. We will see tonight at 8:15. The Jets are favored by 3. That's scary. That's scary. I'm telling you, Vegas knows what they're doing. Tonight, I'm taking the Jets for 2 points. Low points on this game. No confidence in it, but I just think the Jets are going to pull this out. It's going to be crazy. Dallas and Atlanta is your first game on Sunday. 1 o'clock. The Cowboys travel to Atlanta. Listen, I just don't think that the Cowboys can stop the run. Bijan Robinson's going to get the job done. Falcons win that game. We're going Miami-Buffalo. In Buffalo. Unseasonably warm weather in Buffalo. Can the Dolphins do what they need to do? I don't know that can happen. Josh Allen's got 14 touchdowns and 1 pick on the season. We have got to cause turnovers to beat this team. We're just not that good. All the offensive stats go to Buffalo because Tua's been out. Does Tua show up and get the win this week? I got to bet with my heart here. And I want to pick the Dolphins, but we're going to go brainchild and go Bills. Josh Allen's had the Dolphins number. We're picking the Bills this week. Oh, a tough week for the Bengals and the Raiders. As the Raiders come to the Bengals have just suffered another loss. Can the Raiders get it done? I don't think so. Cincinnati will live on and get to 4-5 this weekend. Chargers travel to the Browns. The Browns look like they have a resurgent and have points to score. If that's the case, the Browns are going to take it to the Chargers. Cleveland's going to win that game. New England is traveling to Tennessee. New England is going to lose this week. We're taking Tennessee to get a win with whatever quarterback they put back there and move to 2-6. Actually, scratch that. I've been wrong on this team a couple times. We are going to go New England. Let's move it over and go New England. Washington, the Giants, big points on the Commanders. Don't think New York has a chance. The football G-men are done. They'll be looking for a new coach, a new GM, and possibly a new quarterback. Then we move on to the terrible NFC South game of the week for them between 2 bottom dwellers. But let's be honest, Derek Carr's coming back for the Saints. Saints get the win in Carolina. Denver at Baltimore. No questions asked. Baltimore's angry. Baltimore's getting the win here. They're going to pick it up. High points on them. Denver doesn't have anything for them. Philly. Jacksonville is going into Philly. Philly wins this game big time. They're hitting on all cylinders. They're going to figure it out. Chicago at Arizona. Tough game. Kyler Murray has the potential to score a lot of points. Caleb Williams just got beat on a last-second field goal. Quite frankly, I think the game's going to go the same way for Chicago as it did last week. They're going to score a couple points, but Arizona is going to score a couple points more. Detroit at Green Bay. Without Jordan Love, there's no question. We're going Detroit. Heavy points in the confidence pool for them. No question. They are going to get worked. Now, we have an NFC West game. Rams, Seahawks. Let me tell you something right here. The Rams looking like a new team. The Seahawks getting throttled last week. Give me the Rams this week against Seattle. We're going to go with that pick, see how that works. Indianapolis is traveling north to Minnesota, maybe a little northwest. Not great with my geography, but we're still going to take Minnesota. Joe Flacco's coming in. Anthony Richardson on the bench, as well he should be for taking himself out of a game. Can Sam Darnold correct what happened last week? I don't know that he can't, but what I do know is you can't lose to Joe Flacco and the Colts if you're the Minnesota Vikings and want to stay relevant in the NFC North, which has 3 possible playoff contenders in it. And goodness, the Chicago Bears, if they figure it out and start to win more games instead of losing like they did last week and scoring points, they're going to be trouble too. Their offense has been well. They just do dumb plays like handing to a 5th-string guard, let him run up the middle. Like that's going to work out. I mean, Coach Meeks never let me run the football. Why would you let a 5th-stringer run it in the NFL? Absolutely dumb. Taking Minnesota this week against them. And finally, Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me tell you something. Kansas City has made a living at winning games they shouldn't win. Tampa Bay has made a living at just being mediocre. Kansas City comes away with the win to go to 8-0, the last remaining squad, to falter before they go undefeated and ruin the Dolphins' 1972 undefeated season. Let me tell you something. An exciting week of NFL football. Absolutely exciting games going on. You got crappy teams playing crappy teams. You got great teams playing great teams. You got teams that got to show up. You got catch games. You've got all types of slip-ups that can happen. But at the end of the day, the one thing we can hang our hat on is this. The Detroit Lions are on their way to the Super Bowl. And until they prove differently, the Kansas City Chiefs will be there again. They win games that they shouldn't win. They win games they should win. Even with the picks, the turnovers, and all that stuff, they're doing everything they can to win, even when they're doing everything they can to lose. Let that resonate for you a little bit. It is a show. Enjoy Halloween with your children. If you haven't, make sure you show them the first Halloween. Enjoy it, folks. They grow up way too fast, okay? They grow up way too fast. This is Turk at Up and Running Pod at Bama Turk 46. Don't forget to check out your NFL tonight. Remember, we got the Jets for low points. Aaron's going to show up finally. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. Peace.